Right, guys. So, before we discuss and interpret the open circular flow model itself, it's very important for us to remind ourselves of the key concepts that are relating to circular flow. We need to understand and remind ourselves firstly what is a circular flow and briefly summarize the participants that we have within the circular flow so that when we discuss and interpret the circular flow model that will be in front of us, and when we basically go into detail about the interrelationships between the participants, we must be having these concepts at the back of our heads. So it's all together. Right. So how do we define a circular flow? And remember, it's very important because you might be getting a question in section A, which might require you, very important, which might require you to understand what is a circular flow, whereby you may be given a statement either in a multiple choice question where you are given a definition of a circular flow, and then you have to choose with alternatives which alternative between A to D matches with the circular flow. So you must be able to understand what is a circular flow so that you can answer a multiple choice question that requires you to identify a circular flow from the statement given. Or you might be getting a question again in section A, which may require you to give or briefly give one word. Give one word for the following description. So you might be given a definition of a circular flow and you will be required to give one word. Again, it's very important for you to know how to define a circular flow so that when you get a definition of a statement that relates to circular flow and you are required to give one word for that statement, you would be able to confidently pointed out that that statement basically refers to a circular flow. You may be getting a question again in section B SLO or the question in the question of number 2, which may require you to briefly describe the term circular flow. So it's very important for us to remind ourselves of these definitions of these concepts as it has been outlined by the examination guideline that relevant concepts are important and they are examinable. Are we still together, guys? Yes. So what is a circular flow model? In a nutshell, guys, a circular flow model is a representation of the economy showing how economic participants interact with one another. It's a diagram that is a representation of the economy, meaning a circular flow in a nutshell is a picture drawn to us of what economy looks like. If we're talking about economy, what is economy? It can best be depicted by a circular flow model, which is a representation. And what does it represent basically? It represents how the economic participants interact with each other. And how many economic participants do we have? We have 4 economic participants in a 4-sector model. Because we are in grade 12 now, we are going to be dealing with a 4-sector model. But as we also discussed in grade 10, you were introduced to the 4-sector model, which was a build up from what you have learned in grade 9, which was a 3-sector model, a circular flow that excluded the foreign sector, which focused only on the domestic economy. But in grade 12, and as we have done in grade 10, we are dealing with a 4-sector model. So there are 2 main types of economies. Very important. There are 2 main types of economies, and you must be able to distinguish between these 2 types of economies or the circular flow. As we indicated, a circular flow basically depicts to us what economy looks like. Okay. Firstly, we have what you call a closed economy or a closed circular flow. A closed economy or closed circular flow, guys, is an economy that does not take part in international trade. Meaning, this is a trade interaction between economic participants within the borders of South Africa or within the borders of a country, excluding interacting with other countries. We call that a closed economy. And what does it look like, a closed economy? It comprises only of households businesses, and government. I will still together. There are only three participants in a closed economy. The second type of an economy or circular flow that we have, we call it open economy. And what is an open economy, guys? Open economy is an economy that takes part in international trade, allowing for imports and exports of goods and services from other countries. Remember, what is an export? Export, in a nutshell, is selling goods and services to other countries or to the rest of the world. When South Africa sells gold, diamond, coal to China, to Russia, to Germany, South Africa is exporting. We are selling goods and services to the rest of the world. But what is an import? Import means we is buying of goods and services from the rest of the world, meaning when South Africa is buying cell phones from Japan, when we buy BMWs from Germany, when we buy cigars from Cuba, all those goods that we are buying from other countries, it means we are importing. So that import and export is only made possible, or it is only possible in an economy that we call an open economy, which allows for imports and export. And what does this open economy looks like? Guys, open economy comprises of households, businesses, government, and foreign sector. So you see the main difference. The main difference between closed economy and open economy is that open economy includes foreign sector, but closed economy excludes foreign sector. Very important. Are we still together, guys? Yes. So we are now going to move to the economic participants, where we have to briefly discuss what are the economic participants that we have in our economy. So briefly, guys, we have households. And what are the households? This refers to any unit of people that live together and make joint economic decision. And in other papers or in other examination assessments, an examiner may refer to household as individuals. So individuals and households, guys, are one and the same. It basically refers to us, the people. Me, I am a household. You and your family, your father and your mother and your sisters and your uncles, you are considered to be households in the economy because you are able to make a joint economic decision. Two, what is firms? Firms, guys, are again another term that may be used interchangeably with firms, may be businesses. In other papers that you may be using to practice or to prepare for examination, you may find that firms are referred to as businesses. So businesses and firms in a circular flow are one and the same. Those are the terms that we use exchangeably. So the firms, in short, guys, basically refers to the businesses that produce goods and services. But it's very important because in a circular flow, as you realize, when we interpret the circular flow, we have two producers in a circular flow. We have businesses, which is a producer of goods and services. We also have the government, which is a producer of goods and services. But both produces different types of goods and services. So firms are the producers of goods and services. But what kind of goods and services? Very important. Firms, guys, produces what we call economic goods and services. These are the goods that requires you to pay a price in order for you to consume. We have four categories of economic goods and services, which I will briefly remind you. We have one, durable goods, two, semi-durable goods, three, non-durable goods, and four, we have services. And you must please remember how to define those four economic goods. So firms produces economic goods which are durable goods, semi-durable goods, non-durable goods, as well as services. All still together, guys. Fantastic. So we are now going to move to government. The third participant in the economy is government. What is government? Guys, government again is very important. In other papers, government may be referred to as a public sector or state. So whenever you see a state or public sector in a secular flow, you must remember that it refers to the government. Also altogether, those are the terms that examiners use exchangeably. So it's very important for us to be familiar so that you do not memorize. Here we get to learn not to memorize, so that when you come across state in a secular flow, and then you start to panic to say, we don't have state in a secular flow, where state and public sector basically refers to the government. Very important. That's all together. So what is a government in a secular flow, guys, as an economic participant? Government refers to local, regional, and national government. Remember that we have what to call, in South Africa, we have three levels of government in a nutshell. We have the local government, we have provincial government, we have the national government. In a nutshell, the leader of the national government in South Africa is the president, and currently the president is President Cyril Ramaphosa. And then in our provinces, we have the head of the province, which is the premier. And then in our local districts, we have the mayors who are the head of the local government. So when we talk about the state or the government in a secular flow, we basically refers to the three levels of government: national, provincial, and local. And guys, what is foreign sector? The fourth participant in a secular flow is the foreign sector. Again, we may be referred to the foreign sector in some of the papers that you may use, the previous examination papers that may use to practice or to prepare for examination. Foreign sector may be referred as the world markets. It's very important again to remember that world markets refers to the foreign sector. You must not panic when you see where in a diagram of a circular flow, instead of a foreign sector appearing, you are given the word world market. World market may also again be referred to as the foreign sector. We're still together. So you will see in many of the assessments that we're going to be doing throughout our lessons, the terms that are being used by examiners in the previous question papers. Very important. So foreign sector, guys, in short, it consists of all firms, financial intermediaries, government, and households that deal with imports and exports. You see, when you talk about foreign sector, you find households, you find firms, you find governments, but the governments that are dealing with what? Buying and selling of goods and services to and from the rest of the world. Are these together, guys? Okay. So if the South African government wants to buy something from Germany, it has to go through the foreign sector. Do you understand? If the households wants to buy goods from the rest of the world, they have to go through what? The foreign sector. Are we still together, guys? So when we want to import and we want to export, we do it through the foreign sector. So it's all the firms. It means the producers, the financial intermediaries, institutions, the governments and households that deal with imports and exports. Guys, are there any questions that we need to go through before we actually get into the interpretation of the circular flow model, while we main focus look at the interrelationships between economic participants? So it's very important for you to understand briefly these terms that relates to the circular flow, even what is circular flow, because the circular flow, guys, it shows how the various economic activities flow between different sectors, which is what we're going to be doing when we interpret the circular flow. Are we still together? If there are any questions, please let me have those questions for us to discuss before we move to the interpretation of the circular flow model.